It was really generous of you, Gary. Yeah, we had a smashing time racing around the galaxy in it. Yeah, I'm sorry about those knobs. Andy did try to find them. If you pop down Tandy, you can probably get some replacements down there, I would think. Yeah, it should be all right. Anyway, really appreciate you lending us the car as well to drive home. No, it's great. And as you suggested, I took it for a test drive yesterday. Yeah, took it out on the A55. Yeah, I know, but there was some ducks in the back, which was a little bit odd. Yeah, and then I got pulled over by the police. Well, yeah, he said you can't drive around with ducks in the back of your car. You're going to have to take those to the zoo. Yeah, I know, it was a bit annoying. Anyway, so this morning I thought I'd better take it for another quick test drive again before we go on the long journey. Yeah. So, I got pulled over by the same policeman, and he said, you've still got the ducks in the back of your car, and now they've got sunglasses on. I thought I told you to take them to the zoo. I said, yeah, I did, and today they want to go to the beach. Yeah, I know, Gary, yeah, I'll stop phoning you. You don't need to block my number, it's fine. All right, Gary. All right. See you soon. Bye. Andy, Gary's in the right mood. He asked me to stop phoning him.
That's brilliant. I mean, thanks for that. I was thinking, you don't take ducks to a zoo. Wouldn't you take them to a park or to a wildfowl sanctuary?
Well, that's exactly what that policeman was.
Little did I know.
Yeah. So it was, it was an unusual experience. But luckily, Gary has. So we've returned the Newman 480 to Gary after he lent it to us for our space expedition, and he has lent his loaner, his jalopy car to get home in. Unfortunately, it's only got his old Alpine stereo in it, which has only got a cassette player. But luckily, what Andy's been able to do is to transfer all of the songs over onto TD60s. Didn't have any 90s left, did you?
Oh, TDK 60s? No, run out of 90s. Yeah. No, I've got a couple of TDK 60s left.
That's handy. So we've got the tracks on
AD 60s.
ADs? Oh, yeah, nice.
Yeah, I've been saving them for a very special occasion.
Yeah, you don't want to trust the 120s.
No, they warp. Yeah. They don't run properly.
Too thin. And to join us on our journey home, we've got in the back of the car. It's Ian Edgington. It's Edgy. How you doing?
All right, fellas. No. Lovely to be here.
All right.
Watch your Lucasade on those leather seats. Gary will go mad about that if you dribble that on there.
Gets a bit sticky, doesn't it? No one wants a sticky back seat.
You don't, do you, Andy?
Definitely don't. No, but it's been a long time coming, hasn't it, Ian? It's we've had a couple of attempts to get you on, and we're finally here. Yeah. Finally in the car. It's brilliant that you're on.
I just got to say, you two guys are brilliant, and want to, on behalf of everyone, just want to say thanks for the, top-notch work you do week in, week out.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I don't do a lot. Andy does it all, really.
I wasn't even here last week.
That's why it was good. I was joking. Edit that out.
No, that's staying in. That'll get a full edit. That'll get echoed and everything that way.
Well, we have got an exciting journey lined up, though, this week. So you've transferred onto cassette some amazing stuff, Andy, haven't you? I don't want to give too much away, but we've got some real highlights tonight. We've got a fantastic Master Blaster coming up. We've got a brilliant Gear Geek with Ian coming up with a classic piece of kit. I don't know what to say. It's hard to know where to start, isn't it?
I know. We could start at the very beginning.
With a song.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why don't we do that? What have we got coming up first?
First up, we've got Void Technician, a tune called Sleuth. It's absolutely ace. He's a local lad to Chester, guy called Dave Kerrigan. He's no longer called Void Technician, actually. He's changed to Note Machinist. Right. But he's not actually recorded anything as Note Machinist yet. But this is under his Void Technician moniker. It's a cracking piece of music, and I can't believe it's taken us this long to get this on here, because it's been up on SoundCloud for a while now. But here it is in all its glory. Fantastic.
It is superb. I'll tell you what, why don't we put the cassette in? We'll have a listen to it, and then we'll have a chat with Ian and everybody about it afterwards. And
yeah,
I find it a little unnerving. Let's see if everybody else finds it the same way. Stick the cassette in, Andy.
Okay, here we go.
It's nicely slotted. Here we go. This is Void Technician. This is Sleuth.
Only Human Radio.
Void Technician Sleuth. Ooh, crikey, that was a little unnerving. That I found. How did you find it, Ian?
I thought it felt like Neo was about to defeat a bunch of agents in the Matrix.
And that's exactly what it did have that
I
kind of
can't
thing.
really
about
add to that.
it. But it was like it was kind of cinematic, and we do get quite a lot of cinematic stuff on here, don't we? But there was something a little bit sinister and unnerving about it as well, and fantastic percussion in there.
Yeah. I put ace beats. It was busy and it was great. Yeah,
I like the way he bridged all the different elements together. You know, it kept your interest going all the way through it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Do you know what it was made on? That was what I was trying to work out when I was listening to it.
I don't. I've got a feeling it might have been software.
Right.
But that is a guess. It's a guess. I should have found out, really.
That's all right. Well,
in typical
only human fashion.
Yeah. It's seen as it's all about music and gear. We don't bother to find out about the gear, but you know. Okay.
But it was an amazing piece of music. So again, if we want to listen to more, either as Void Technician or what was the new name? Did you say he was doing stuff under?
Note Machinist.
Note Machinist. Is that all on Bandcamp? Is it?
Well, yeah. You'll only find Void Technician stuff. He told me a couple of weeks back that he was going to start recording some new stuff as Note Machinist.
Right.
So I think Void Technician is a legacy act now, but still the same guy, and hopefully I'll be producing stuff just as good. But you can find Void Technician stuff on SoundCloud.
Right, brilliant, superb. Well, it was great, and I know I'll have a look at some of that. I'm sure everybody else will as well. It'd be great to support them too. So coming up next, we've got this is I wrote down Tim Panic for this one. This is amazing. This is Sension on Every Minute. Where did you find this from? This was just a great song. You're right there,
does Tim Panic mean?
I don't know. I wrote it down and thought that sounds like a word. And what I had in my mind was something that's very timpani. It's got a lot of
like kettle drums.
Yeah,
you mean
that sort.
Them big drums.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
This was actually posted on the Only Human page a few weeks ago as a live performance video. So, me being me, pounced on it, approached him. It's a guy called Mark Hacken and Meddings, and he, it was a live performance video. It was interesting because he was triggering some of his synths with hand gestures and body movements and things like that. So the visual element of it is absolutely wonderful. However, the audio is fantastic. So I just contacted him and said, "Can we have the audio?" He fired it over, and here it is. But this is like modular and old synths. I think there's a Juno in there as well, being triggered by his body movements.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing. So I'd written down what's this made on, because again I couldn't work it out. But I'm going to have a look at that video again. I seem to have missed that. Because that sounds...
If you go onto the Only Human page, go back about 2.5-3 weeks. It's on there under Mark Hacken and Meddings. He's posted it under his own name. So have a look at it. It's brilliant.
I will. How did you find it? I mean, obviously we have not even got onto the song yet, but this is how excited we are about actually playing it.
Yeah, I didn't see that video. I'm definitely going to check that out when I get a chance. I've just put... I like how it sort of is arranged. So if he's done all that live, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. He put in his. He sent me a bit of stuff over, and he says it's a one take live recording. So it's all in the moment.
That is amazing.
So yeah, which makes it even more sort of wow.
It absolutely does. It is amazing. Right, well, we better stick it on. Just before we do, though, has anybody else brought any snacks? I've got some warm salmon paste sandwiches. I'll pass them round. Yeah, lads. I'll just pass them to the back. Don't drop it on the floor, Ian. Oh, well, you've dropped it.
I'm vegetarian. I'm not eating salmon. Oh, no chance.
Crikey. Well, there's hardly any salmon in them because it comes from that pot. So basically, it's just pot, no salmon.
Is it Shipham's?
Oh, Christ, yes. Shipham's. Only the best. Well, here you go. You can have one of my sandwiches to kick off with, and we'll stick the cassette in. And let's have a listen to Sension Every Minute.
Only Human Radio.
Wow, that was Sension every minute. So that really was amazing, wasn't it? And again, I hope you could see what I meant by tympanic in there. It's so if that wasn't a word, it is now.
Yeah, I thought it was tympanic.
Definitely tympanic. Definitely.
Can I just say, have you had those salmon paste sandwiches in Tupperware?
I have. I made them about 5 or 6 days ago.
Yeah, they're a bit wet.
I think, yeah. Well, I only buttered one side of the bread, one slice. So one slice is buttered, the other's not. And sometimes when you don't butter the other slice, it seeps in, doesn't it? So you get a seeped slice.
Why did you do that?
I was saving on the butter. I'm trying to save the world, one slice by slice, Andy.
I thought you were thinking of your figure.
No, I don't need to watch my figure. Everybody else watches that for me. I don't know. Right, should we move on very quickly? or Andy has a hemorrhage.
Is that a sandwich? A hemorrhage sandwich?
I'm feeling a bit tympanic.
So I've got some paracetamol.
Oh, dear me. Luckily, I don't have to speak a lot for the next bit. Because what we're going to do is we're going to whiz over and we're going to have a chat about Ian's new song, which is We Have Disco. Is that all one word? It looked like all one word, or has it actually got spaces in between?
It should have spaces, I think. But, when you just label the tune up, you just do it as one big word.
That's
lazy type. That's lazy typing, that is.
Yeah. Well...
So,
I'm
Andy,
saving the world one space at a time.
Right, so Andy, I'm going to pass over to you to have a chat with Ian about how he made this wonderful piece of music.
I won't go that far.
Yeah. I've had a listen to a lot of Edgy's music, obviously, over the last few, especially over the last few months. But this is sort of like classic Edgy, isn't it? Classic IJ Edgington. Is it door based or is it got hardware in it? How did you go about it?
It's mostly door based. I mean, obviously, I've got Ableton, which I use to do all my stuff in, and the only bit of hardware kit I've got is the TB03. So I tend to drop in a bit of that, do a bit of tweaking, and then cut and paste it and do all sorts of things like that. But with this track I did here, I mean, normally, I don't know how you guys do your tracks and stuff. Normally I get to like version, 12 or 13 before I even think of putting it out there. And this is just version 1. So
oh really?
It's really quite the raw version of it. Yeah, I was got the new version of Ableton. They brought out version 11 pretty recently, and oops, dropped my thing there. And it's got all these randomization stuff in it, and I know the what's it called? The Octa something.
Octatrack.
Octatrack. Yeah, that. Who's the company who makes
Electron.
that? Sorry,
Electron.
Yeah, I had one of their little Electron machines. And it had all these like random sort of things you could do in terms of, playing back a certain section, every other time or 20% chance. And Ableton's got a lot of that built into it now, which it didn't used to have. So that track was basically me just taking, 12, 13 different sort of samples and little loops I've got and just randomly triggering them throughout the 3 minutes of the song. And giving it a higher percentage for certain things at certain points. Because if you do everything too random, it just sounds bonkers. Yeah. So
that'll be was it the Digitac that you had, was it? Because the Digitac does that, doesn't it, Andy?
Yeah, it's the trig conditions.
Yeah. I didn't have the Digitac. I had the baby one. What's that one called? I've sold it now.
Model samples, is that?
Cycles, is
Cycles,
it?
Yeah, samples. Model samples. Yeah, I had one of them. Kept it for a while, but it's a bit of a faff to get your stuff in and out of it and into the computer and load your samples on. And Ableton.
Did you use Overbridge for that?
That wasn't Overbridge capable, I don't think.
Oh, wasn't it?
No.
Oh,
No.
Because Overbridge is pretty handy for the Electron stuff.
Yeah, it was always in beta though when I was looking at things. It was always like never quite released. So have they sorted it out now?
Don't know.
That's why I sacked it off. No, but
I tell you what I like about.
Go on.
I tell you what I like about your tunes, Edgy, and this is no different. Is you're quite happy to throw in like an actual instrument, like a sample of a trumpet in this case, or a guitar, or singing, or something like that. It's always kind of got an acoustic element in there. Is that deliberate, or is it just something that happy accidents?
I think it's kind of deliberate. I'm sort of like from a DJ background, you know, sort of where you drop in different sort of tracks and different elements and stuff like that. So, I don't know, just do stuff I think, oh, that sound cool. Let's see if we can find a sample.
Yeah, because some of the stuff that you did for our cassette is, you know, that's got some absolutely gorgeous samples in there, like bits of guitar runs, guitar licks, and bit of brass here and there. It sounds ace.
Yeah, I like just triggering stuff like that, you know, randomly. I do like a bit of random elements to my tracks, basically. Yeah.
It adds a nice sort of human feel to it as well, though. I think it doesn't get too robotic. It's sort of it's kind of gives it a sort of extra dimension, which I've always liked about your stuff.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate that. I don't know. I just like experimenting with different sounds. I think it's dead easy, isn't it, to just sort, you know, when you just want to produce one type of music. I won't say it's dead easy, but I don't know. I'd get bored just doing one type of thing all the time. Like you doing all your little ditties and stuff. Like they're brilliant.
Do you know how many I've made since February?
Got to be a lot.
I made my 40th this morning.
But they're,
I had a chat with Rob Dixon about it this morning.
They're perfect for Instagram, which is where I see most of them.
But that's why they're a minute long.
Yeah,
because they are for Instagram. So anyway, it's not about me; it's about you. But well, yeah, I made 40 anyway.
I'm saying I'm similar. I just like doing these, you know, random different styles, different, you know, things in there. Try anything, you know. I mean, I appreciate all the stuff, you know, all the guys in the community do as well. I think you know, a lot of that stuff's brilliant.
Mm. I do.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's a good, fun community to be in, isn't it? And it's nice that everybody gets so involved and does so much stuff for it. So yeah, it is good fun. But I tell you what, we should really, Andy, we got that cassette handy.
Yeah, hang on. Oh, it's already in.
Oh, it is, sorry. Well, there we go. We just didn't press the play button. Oh, just before we hit play. Does anybody want one of these strawberry ski yogurts?
What flavour?
Strawberry. The tops have bubbled up slightly. They are a little.
I don't like those because you always get one big sloppy strawberry in there.
You do. The tops have bubbled up a little bit because I've left them to be tepid in the glove box.
I'm going to pass if that's all right.
Next to Gary's Werther's Originals. No, you're not keen? All right.
No.
I'll have it.
Yeah, I'll pass it back to you. Try not to, when that lid opens, try not to pop it against the leather seats, if you would. There you go, here's a spoon. Right, let's pop it in, then let's press play. This is IJ Edgington, this is We Have Disco.
Only Human Radio.
Wow, that was I.J. Edgington. We Have Disco. Ian, that was a great song. Really enjoyed that.
Won't go that far.
Well, I would. No, it was brilliant. It was superb. And it leads us in very nicely because there was some really nice TD3 sounds in there. And it's actually a TD03, isn't it, that we're talking about? Or is it TB03? I get confused with all these.
TB03.
TB03. So is that the Roland one?
Yeah, it's the Roland's boutique sort of version.
That one. Right, okay, I'm going to pass over to Andy because this means I'm already out of my depth.
Are we going to play the jingle?
Well, let's do it. Here we go. I'll stick the jingle cassette in. Oh, my life. Oh, there it is.
Rewind it.
Yeah, I think I might have used the TDK 120 for that one, Andy. It's gone a little bit lumpy, isn't it? Anyway, don't worry about that. I'll try and fix that for the next episode.
Yeah, so Ian, what is a Roland's TB03?
It is Roland's boutique, as in it's their range of synthesizers they brought out to recreate classic synths of yesteryear, but in a small form factor.
That's one thing I was going to ask you. How much smaller than the original 303 is the TB3? It can't, because it wasn't big anyway,
No,
was it?
I think this is pretty close to its original size, but the other machines, like the drum machine, the TR-808 and the TR-909, they're substantially smaller than their originals, obviously. This one's pretty close, but I think the TB303, which they cost thousands of pounds, and they're quite hard to interface into your setup, really. I think they're a little bit bigger.
So I'm assuming that the TB03 is all MIDI capable, and you can sync it up to pretty much anything.
Yeah, it's got USB. You can power it off the USB. It's got MIDI in and out. It's got a mix in, so you can send something from like another piece of gear into it, and then send that.
Oh, what?
Yeah, and then send that into your computer. What else has it got? It's got CV out and gate.
That's it?
Yeah. So you could trigger your fancy rack stuff, and it's got a trigger in as well. But
so will it send all the ties and all the activity that is so typical of a 303? Will it send all of that data?
It'll send that to the outputs. But I never use that, so it's pretty pointless.
Right.
For me, personally. But yeah, so, it will do it.
Well, you were talking about how you create something on the door and then you'll sort of decorate it with the TB3.
Yeah.
How easy is that? Do you send sort of note data into it, or do you just send clock, or how does that work?
Usually, I'll get my track going, like the bare bones of it, and then this will be hooked up USB to my computer, so it's got clock, so it's in time. And in Ableton, you've got you can tell it what sort of key to be in when it receives MIDI data. So if my track's in E minor, I can put a little plug-in on the input channel and say, make all these notes in that scale.
Right, okay.
So the TB then sounds, like it's in tune with the rest of the track. And then I'll hit a few random patterns. And what you can do as well, you can change the length, so you can have it, a bar, 16 steps long, or you can have it, 11 steps, so it gets a bit sort of, what do they call it? Polyrhythm. Yeah. You can do it like that. And then I'll just have a little tweak, and I'll go, okay, kind of like that. And then I'll record the MIDI from this into the computer. So then I've always got the MIDI file of the acid bass line. So just say you've got your track playing on the door, and then you've got your TB03 hooked up, synced, singing along nicely. Yeah.
You're gonna have a tweak on your TB03. Will the door then record the motion that you've put into the TB03? Will it remember the filter sweeps and things like that?
You can get it to do that with a bit of tweaking, but I don't bother with that. I just do 3 or 4 takes with the tweaking, without the tweaking, and just record them all. So I've got all the audio for every, and I just save them like tweaked version, untweaked version, and then I can sort of chop it into my timeline wherever I want.
Wow.
Yeah, and I like doing where you can... Ableton's got a new feature now where it allows you to do multiple takes. I forgot what the name for it is.
So how does that work then?
So it's for like live bands, you know, say you got a bass player and he wants to play the bass in. So then you'll just hit record and it'll capture that. Say you've got it set for, you know, a 2-bar loop. And then at the end of the 2-bar loop, it'll record a new 2-bar loop, and then a new one, and then another new one. And you can just keep going. And then what Ableton lets you do is take a little bit of that first recording, a little bit of the second recording, you know, this bit on the fourth, and put them all together, and that's your final take. So you can get the best bits out of all your different takes.
Wow.
And you can do this on the fly, can you? You can do this live?
Yeah, in this new version of Ableton, yeah, it allows for these multiple takes.
So how complicated is that actually to do in practice? Because, I mean, it sounds complicated.
Wouldn't you have to have a band member actually manning the Ableton if you were doing that?
Not really, because you can set it, if you've got a piece of MIDI equipment, to just basically hit this one button and it'll do a take, and then hit it again to stop the take once you've done enough of them. So you can just set it going and leave it, basically, and keep tweaking.
Wow.
And until you've like gone, right, that's, you know, 8-9 takes, we'll pick the best bits out of the takes. So
I have to confess, I'm at the edge of my understanding of what's going on.
yeah.
I'm over that precipice,
you know,
mate.
Honestly, I've been using Ableton since version 6, I think. I think that was back in 2007 or something like that. And
wow.
I bought it then with the educational discount. You know, I mentioned that to you in one of the chats.
Yeah, you did.
And ever since then, I've just paid for the upgrade. So it's gone from 6 to now version 11. But if I don't think the upgrade's doing enough for me, I'll skip a version. So I didn't buy version 8. I bought version 9. Didn't buy version 10. And now I've just bought version 11. So, and each time they keep adding things in. So I'm just winging it myself half the time.
So do you get mini VSTs with the full version? Does it come with a sort of sound pack?
Yeah, it comes with loads of things you can do. Operator is the sort of synth, the built-in synth engine. You can do all sorts of different things. But I've got a few native instruments plugins. I know Jules, you use some of them, don't you? Or you used to. Because I've got Complete Control, and I've bought quite a few different ones through that. So the Monarch is my favourite one.
That's a fantastic piece of equipment. Yeah, it is. It's brilliant. I love it. Yeah,
it's a beast. It is a beast for a bass line. It's just like a monophonic synth, but it's so like fat sounding.
It's a Moog bass one, isn't it? That they don't directly say that, but it is.
But it's got so many good presets. Like, I'm not one to take an empty synth and then program in my own, oscillators and everything. Yeah. I mean, I'll do it a little bit, but I'm not at that level you guys are with all your oscillating. But I do like
gubbins.
Yeah. Yeah, you think Ableton's complicated. I walk in and see all these wires everywhere. I'm like, oh my lordy, what's going on here? But yeah.
I downloaded Ableton. I finally got my hands on a version. I think it was 10 Lite.
10 Lite. Okay.
Yeah, and I looked at it for a bit. Realised I didn't have any instruments to go with it.
Oh, it should have some built in. Should have some built in.
Oh, was it? Oh, I'll have another look. I think I gave up a bit quick.
Yeah.
And I'll have another look at it.
Doesn't version 11, they give you a 90-day trial, I think.
I don't know.
Of the full whack.
I didn't want to spend any money on it.
But the 10 Lite's got a fair bit in it, but I did the same as you, Andy. I downloaded, because I had 10 Lite, and then I spent about a week fiddling about with it, realised I'm just going to spend months trying to learn this, when there's something else I actually already understand, so why am I trying to do that?
Yeah.
You know, what am I actually going to gain out of this process?
No, I agree. Yeah. I agree with that. You know, I think a lot of the time I was buying stuff and going, oh, I need it to do this, I need it to do that. And, you know, you're fighting what you already know. Sometimes it's best to just take what you know and go with that. You know, there's the gear envy or the gear sort of wheel you can get on. You know, I think sometimes you just got to get off that and just use what you've got and just get the best out of it, basically.
I think that resonates with me because I like to buy something and really get to know it, even if it takes me quite a bit of time, because I know that you only really just touch the surface of what a lot of things can do. And that bugs me a little bit, thinking I'm just skimming this. I could properly get into this.
Yeah, exactly.
So that resonates with me, what you've just said there.
No, it's easy to get into that. Oh, and new things come out, and I must have it, I must need it. But sometimes you're better off just using what you got and getting the best out of it. You know.
Yeah.
I don't like to get a bit of kit and then just chuck it away straight away. Like that model samples, I did have it for like nearly half a year, and I was okay with it, but it frustrated me. So I was like, well, it's not right for me. So then I did get rid of it. It actually paid for my Ableton Live 11 upgrade, so...
Well, there you are, you see.
Happy days.
Swings and roundabouts, isn't it? And we have done it, that's like been a double Gear Geek tonight, Andy, that's been an Ableton Live and Roland TB03 Gear Geek Corner.
Yeah.
So you got...
What sound?
They're the two things I use, so happy days.
I was a bit selfish there because I really want to know how to use Ableton, and I've kind of taken the opportunity to find out how to do it.
Well,
it's one of those programs, dip your toe in and get a little bit of basic knowledge and then just keep adding on top of it. It's got
My problem is...
Go on.
My problem is that I've been using Cubase for a very long time, and I'm trying to... Because I know Cubase so well and so stuck in my ways, I'm looking for similarities between Cubase and Ableton and not seeing them. I'm approaching it as if it's like Cubase, and it's not.
Yeah, that can be frustrating.
And it's sort of, it's trying to forget what I know about Another Door and just sort of go in with a fresh mind. I found that quite difficult.
Or stick with Cubase, and that's exactly the way I came from with Machine in the end. I started with Machine, went full circle, did a load of hardware pieces of kit, tried Ableton, and I've ended full circle back at Machine again, which is the thing I learnt on, and I know, and I understand. So why don't I just use the thing I actually know how to use? It's been a lot easier.
Exactly.
I think that's it, yeah.
And now I bet you can like knock tunes out, you know, in your sleep, basically.
Well, that's it, because now you're not having to learn how to use the piece of equipment all the time. I can actually just think, well, this is what I want to create. I can just go and do it straight away. It's easy.
Although you got pretty good on that Akai Force. That was pretty good.
Yeah, only it was the same as Andy was saying, though. I was really skimming the surface on that, and there was so much it could do that I just found so difficult. Every time I thought, oh, I know it can do this, I'll go and try and do it. And I spent hours on the internet looking at YouTube videos and trying to work out how to do it. And in the end, I just thought, God, I'm just spending more time looking up how to do stuff on it than I'm actually spending doing stuff on it. And it kind of took the fun out of the whole machine, really, a little bit. That every time I was trying to make a song or anything, I was always having to go back and look stuff up and do all that side of things, which takes the fun out of it for me.
Yeah, exactly. No. If you're more comfortable with the machine... And I remember when I first met you and you had your machine there, and I was like, whoa, these guys sound fantastic. I was like, I don't want to play my tune after any of this.
Gosh, you sure it was me?
Yeah. It was in that pub, wasn't it, Andy? Where we played outside.
Yeah. Saddle. G21.
And you were lucky enough to play your stuff dead loud, and then they told everyone else to turn it down.
That's because they heard mine and then decided, yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. I'll tell you what, Andy, we probably ought to move on to some more music, really, haven't we? That was an amazing Gear Geek. Thank you very much. That was really interesting. Talking about amazing, we've got something amazing coming up now, haven't we, Andy? What have we got coming up now?
We've got the Amazing Dr Tentacles.
Indeed, the Amazing Dr.
Which is the great night. It's the name of the night. Amazing Dr Tentacles. It's a tune called Ballet.
Tell you what, let's stick the cassette in. Let's have a listen. Let's have a chat about it afterwards. Press play.
Only Human Radio.
But that was amazing from the Amazing Dr Tentacles. That was phenomenal. How did you find that, Ian?
I've put it absolutely bonkers, but I loved it. And it feels like I've just defeated a boss level on an arcade machine.
Was that modular gear, Andy, do you know?
No, I do know what it was. It's an Electron model cycles.
Right.
And an Arturia microfreak.
Oh, really? Oh, that's the one with the funny little touch keyboard thing on it, isn't it? The microfreak.
Yeah, I think Matt Garnett's got one.
Blimey, that's it. That's all this was done. And that's two quite affordable pieces of kit, that as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's door free, and it's model cycles and microfreak.
Blimey.
And yeah, absolutely brilliant. It's a guy who contacted us, fired it over, asked us to play it, and we do. So there we go. The Amazing Dr Tentacles.
Especially if it sounds like that.
It was amazing.
Is he Chester based, this fella?
I don't know.
Oh, nobody knows.
He signed off Amazing Dr Tentacles.
I would if I was called that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So I don't know. In fact, I'm saying he could easily be she.
Yeah.
So he or she, don't know who they are, don't know where they're from, but they're amazing and they've got tentacles, and that's all I know.
I was slightly on edge throughout the whole of that, though. There was another sinister edge to that one, a little bit on the way through that. Did you not find that?
It was tense.
Yeah, that's a good word. Tense. It was tense. Very unique. Yeah. But I loved it. Loved every second of it. It was superb.
Well, you can get hold of more Dr. Tentacles, Amazing Dr. Tentacles, Spotify, Amazon, Bandcamp, Instagram. The Amazing Dr. Tentacles has a strong internet presence.
I'm quite
so even though we don't
quite scared to Google that phrase though.
Yeah, just be very careful.
Don't do it at work.
So anyway, that was amazing. Do a bit of Googling very carefully. And let's move on to what next up. We've got, I'll do the joke before we even start, Andy. Can you lift me up?
Go.
Can you lift me up?
Yeah, it's minimums. Sorry. Yeah, it's mini-mums.
Mini-mums. Dads do shopping too.
Oh, God.
But it is our old friends. It is our old friends minimums. And it's an absolute belter, this one, though, isn't it?
Yeah, this is part 3. When Minimums first sent some tunes over, sent 3 over, and this is the 3rd. I don't know if they're a song cycle, but they definitely flow. I've been lucky enough to listen to all 3 in a row, and they really flow into each other. But yeah, this is basically part 3 of what Minimum sent us. It's called Olfactory.
Tell you what, shall we have a listen? Sorry.
Not Olfactory.
Olfactory as in, so I'm going to get this wrong now. Olfactory, is that your ears? Am I making stuff up again?
I don't know. I'm not going to confirm or deny it.
Is it similar to Tympanic? Yeah, probably. I'll tell you what, let's stick the cassette in. Does anybody want a warm Scotch egg? Just me. Right, I'll stick the cassette in. Let's press play. Here we go.
Only Human Radio.
Wow, that was Minimum's Olfactory. That really was a fantastic song. That felt like driving down a lovely old warm road on a lovely old warm afternoon to me. It was just such a relaxing, enveloping song.
Any snacks? Any snacks?
No, Edgy ate the 3 warm Scotch eggs that I brought before I'd even opened the packet. So
The vegetarian ones.
Okay.
luckily they were vegetarian ones, yeah, exactly. But yeah. I think there's a
I saw him chuck them out the window.
I'd never do that. Sacrilegious.
they're those old windows, the little triangle ones that you have to push the little thing and it only opens like an eighth of a way open in the back there as well. There is a very eggy smell out the back of there though. I think you might have kept one in the back of there.
Oh God!
Not guilty.
Anyway.
On hot vinyl seats as well.
Oh, dearie me. But that was a beautiful piece of music, coming back to the theme. So, yeah, thank you very much to Minimums again. How did you find that, Ian?
I thought that could easily make it onto like a chill out Ibiza compilation.
Yeah.
Just really top notch production. Everything had space and room to breathe. And yeah, brilliant.
Minimums Chester based as well, Andy.
Yes.
I thought they were. Right, that's quite close to home for a beating for me.
This person has an established music career, and this is the person that
Oh yes,
we are keeping their identity to ourselves.
indeed.
This Minimums is a mystery person.
But superb, amazing, and it'd be
Yeah.
great if we could. Do you think we could get a tune from another, from their alter ego, or from their other, from their main ego, to play without mentioning it's actually them? Do you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to get to, don't you? So can we get another song from them, not say
Yeah.
it's them, but put it on, and then if people work it out, they can work it out for themselves.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's do
That
that.
will be interesting.
That shouldn't be too difficult.
Okay, we'll give that a go. Right, coming up next, we've got. Do you know what this? Well, it's your Master Blaster. So let's stick the jingle on to put the cassette in, Andy.
Andy's Master Blaster.
It's brilliant.
Oh, even that one's gone wonky with the TDK 120, isn't it? Oh, yeah. I think I've rewound that too many times.
The 120s were always terrible, especially the BASF ones. They were awful.
You don't want to touch them.
They didn't even rewind properly.
Yeah,
I think that's what the problem is with this.
yeah, it's probably that.
Shove your pencil in.
That's it. Yeah, give it a little rewind with that, and it's probably because we're using that Amstrad cassette player. We should have bought ourselves a decent
they're
one. Yeah, I
terrible.
know. We should have bought ourselves a decent one for the journey, really. But
JVC.
yeah, see, that would have been a bit of that would have been a bit better on Alpine, something like that. But that was way out of budget. But we have got coming up now, Dark Fidelity HiFi. Where are these guys from, Andy?
This is one guy from Manchester,
Right.
a guy called Richard Jones. We've had him on before.
We have, haven't we?
In fact, I think we've had him as a Master Blaster
Right.
before, you know. So he's just got a new album out. He's releasing through a Glaswegian record label called Bricolage. You should check their site out on Bandcamp. Absolutely chocker full of brilliant stuff. But this is off his what's it called? Yeah, it's called Beautiful Fragments, his new album.
Okay.
And I think it's made up of bits and pieces that he's had lying about and he's stitched them together. I think I'm right. But the results are absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful.
Well, if the rest of it's like this, then that's something I'm going to definitely dig at. I mean, this is like a long journey sort of stuff. You know what I mean? If you've got a nice long journey, you just want to really chill out on that journey. If the rest of it's like this song, this is going to be amazing. I tell you what, let's put it on and we'll have a chat with Edgy about it when we come back in. So this is Dark Fidelity HiFi. This is Motoko.
Only Human Radio.
Wow, that was Dark Fidelity HiFi, Motoko. God, I don't know what else to say. Ian, why did you find that?
Oh, I loved the vocal samples. Thought that was
Yeah.
brilliant. Just so chilled out, that song. It's similar to the Minimums track, really, in production style.
Yeah. It's spacious, isn't it? It's beautifully produced. Everything's got its own little corner of the tune. Love it.
Yeah, very cinematic.
Yeah, absolutely ace. Yeah.
Really-
I mean,
it's a bit more.
There's a skill to do that, and that's quite hard to get your sound to do that.
Yeah.
I think for his day job, Richard Jones, Dark Fidelity HiFi, he is actually he does do production work and engineering work. So I think that's his day job, and you can tell, can't you?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah. And again, it's like when you listen to some of Martin Eve's stuff, the production values in that are fantastic. It's the same sort of thing here that you can hear when somebody knows
it is.
how to get the space around the song, which is difficult to do, as you were saying, Ian.
Very difficult to make it sound so spacious.
Yeah, exactly. Not on top of all itself. Do you know what's happened? We've got to the last song. How on earth has that happened? That's gone so quick. Well, for me, probably not for anybody else, but it does seem to have sped. It seems to have sped by. Dear. Well, I haven't pushed the choke in either. We've had the choke out all the way, Andy. Gary will go mad about that.
Oh no, you're going to flood your engine.
I know. It has been chugging a little bit here and there. But you have saved, as always, something fantastic for last, haven't you?
Yeah. The show so far, it's been quite chilled out, really. But we're not going to finish on a very chilled out note, are we? We've got Hans Delbruck, Harry Walker. This is not chilled out at all.
It's not, but crikey, what a piece of music this is. I mean, it is just belting. I tell you what, let's have a chat about this one before we kick into it, shall we? Because it really, I wrote, as soon as I started listening to this, I just wrote down, here we go. It's just such a tune. How do you find it, Ian?
Absolute banging. That's what I've got here. Relentless. Production, top notch. And I wish I was in a barn somewhere in the middle of the country at 3 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Some mad rave.
Yeah.
Reminded me a bit of Teeth Crack. Do you remember that song,
Yeah.
Core, Teeth Crack, that was on the first Only Human album?
Yeah.
Reminded me a little bit of that. Not not necessarily the song itself, but the style and the feel of it.
Yeah. The dark vibe.
Yeah, the terror that sat around it.
He actually did a tutorial, didn't he, on how to do that kick drum? I was just
about to say.
Yeah,
did
that was
you
really
see
interesting.
His kick drum? Yeah.
Oh, I've missed
Did you see
I
that,
missed
Jules?
that.
He did a tutorial on how to make a kick drum.
get the boom.
Really?
Boom, boom.
What was that on?
Yeah.
Yes, on Only Human.
Yeah.
He posted. Well, I think he posted it on his own page,
Right.
but he shared it with Only Human. It's absolutely brilliant.
Oh, superb. And do you know what? It's a good point, that, Andy, because people listening tonight probably thinking, oh, well, it's all very well for you guys in your community to listen to all this stuff that's posted up there, but everybody else can join in too, can't they? So anybody who's listening can join in. That's an open Facebook page. So is it, I think they search for Only Human Radio, don't they?
No, it's just for Only Human.
Oh, is it? Sorry.
Just for Only Human.
Okay.
But it is closed. But all you've got to do is put a request in, and we'll, have you in. So if you want to join the community, we get all sorts of quite exclusive content like that, and we all share our music on there as well. So it's a nice place to test your tunes out, get a bit of not too brutal feedback, but some encouraging feedback, I would say.
Oh, it's really nice, actually, because I've put some stuff up there before, and then, Matt Garnett actually did it for me. He said, I like that, but I think I could do some stuff for you with it. Send it over, and I'll remix it a little bit and add something to it. And what he sent back was just awesome. So it's just really nice. People are very generous with their time on there.
Yeah, we share stems and do remixes and just generally chat about synths and drum machines and stuff like that. So, yeah, if anybody's listening and they're not part of the group, then please put a request in and we'll have you in. It'd be fantastic.
And if you search for it, it's the one with the big blue logo, because there might be one that's similar to it on there somewhere or other, but it's the one with the big blue logo you're looking for, Only Human.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Right, okay, well, I'll tell you what, we'll kick into Hans Delbruck then. I've saved something special for last as well. Does anybody want a packet of Scampy Flavoured Flies? Anybody?
Not flies. I'll have some fries.
Oh, you can have
Definitely
the
not flies.
you can have the fries instead if you like. You can't beat a packet of scampi
go
flavour
on then.
fries in an enclosed space, can you? There you go. There's a packet each.
I'm going to actually, before you put Hans Delbruck on, I'm actually going to put my seatbelt on.
Oh Christ, would you?
I think it's time to buckle up for this one.
I think it might be. It's a lap belt only in this car, but yeah, stick your lap belts on. It's Hans Delbruck. It's Berserker.
Only Human Radio.
crikey, I've got a bit of a sweat on after that. That was Hans Delbruck, Berserker. That was just astonishing, wasn't it? That was incessant, I think might be the word.
Relentless.
Relentless, that's a better one.
Yeah, that's the one. Tympanic.
Relentless. Timpani.
You'll be using that tomorrow. Everybody will be using that tomorrow. Sticking it in conversation here, there, and everywhere. That was an amazing night, Andy. As always, you've selected a fantastic lineup of music for us. Do you want to give us a bit of a rundown of what we listened to tonight?
Yeah, of course. First up, Void Technician, Sleuth. Then we had Sension, Every Minute. We had our guest, IJ Edgington, with We Have
Fantastic
Disco.
Stuff.
We had brilliant. Then we had the Amazing Dr Tentacles with Bullet Ballet. Fifth tune was Minimum's Olfactory. Dark Fidelity HiFi Motoko off his brilliant Beautiful Fragments album. And last but not least, Hans Delbruck, Harry Walker with Berserker, the original mix.
So, Ian, before we drive off into the sunset, we should have asked you before as well. So, where, if people want to listen to more of your stuff, where's the best place to find it?
Good question. I go through a period of just deleting all my stuff and then starting again. So, yeah, just SoundCloud probably, but there's nothing on there at the minute.
So right, so I was going to say, so we'll search for you on SoundCloud, but we won't find anything. So but there we are. Never mind. Probably the best place is.
Hey, don't forget.
Oh yeah, the cassette.
There's still a few cassettes left.
Oh yeah.
So we got there's me and Edgy did a split cassette, but you can download it as well. That's available on Bandcamp.
So if they want to find that on Bandcamp, what do we search for? Do we search for Ian, or do we search for you, Andy?
It's actually on my site.
Okay. Yeah,
it's on Andy Pegg's site.
Okay, so go and have a search for that on Andy Pegg's site. You've got I need to say Double Trouble, but it's like a double cream top. You've got the best of both worlds on that cassette there, and it's and that'll be a TDK 60, will it, Andy?
No, it was. I think it was a 20. I think it was a 56.
Ooh, get you.
Ooh. And
Crikey.
we had them hand cut.
Jeepers. Well, at least it's not a 120 again. That's the main thing. But
that 120's got a bad rep.
You don't want a 120. No, last thing you need.
The crap, the rubbish.
Dreadful stuff. Dreadful stuff. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, Ian, chatting to you tonight. Thank you so much for joining us in the back of the car. Would you mind just wiping up that Lucozade before you get out and pick up that Scotch egg from the floor? Because Gary will go mental if you leave those in there. Anyway, we're going to end off with a handbrake turn. So, lads, grab onto the grab handles on the left-hand side. We're going to do a big skidder. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Hold on. 3, 2, 1.
Plan radio.
Only human radio.
Only human radio.